Hey guys, Craig, Fergie Time, episode 13. Today is going to be a fun show. I have Reggye. She's a Texas Jeeper. She works for Krash Fab. She does awesome stuff, and she has some funny stories to tell. So hope you like it. Check it out. It's on YouTube, obviously, Spotify. Like, share, all that great stuff, guys. Hey guys, this is Craig. I am with Reggye, and this is Fergie Time. This is episode 13 now. So I'm excited for today. And Reggye, I'll put her link to the Instagram bio below, but she's an awesome Jeeper. She does a lot of mechanic work and just a cool person. So I'm excited you're here.
Thanks.
So we were just talking before the show about Krash Fab.
Yes.
So that's where you're at now. You're doing Krash Fab. So what are you doing?
I'm actually doing a lot of his stuff. I'm helping with his social media, brand management, so trying to expand his brand. He is in California, and so a lot of people like mid to northern California know who he is. And throughout the rest of the country, nobody does too much, so we're trying to expand his brand across the country. I do a lot of his stuff for his website. I talk to the customers, help them out with orders if they're waiting on stuff to be shipped to them, or we've got 2 Jeeps in the shop right now that we have customers reaching out, hey, what's the timeline for this? So I respond to them. I help run the Krash Fab social media page, so like I'm the one who will repost stuff or post some reels or whatever, respond to people. So
Krash Fab, is it so he does fabrication?
He does fabrication. He also has his own line of bumpers, sliders, cages, long arm kits, and quill over ORI towers. And then we're hopefully expanding more into more parts like armor, maybe half doors, fuel cell. Like we're really trying to expand the brand, and we're wanting to start a bolt-on brand. So he's been wanting to do that, not just to have the frame chop side, which is what I have on my Jeep. I frame chop the front and the rear for the front and rear bumper, but something that's still really high profile so that you don't get drag as far as on your approach angle or departure angle, but it's a bolt-on. So because not everybody wants to chop their Jeep. So, sadly enough, I love chopping my Jeep. Not everybody likes to chop their Jeep.
So all of the things that you do on social media, like, is that just at your house then, or?
Yeah.
Like the other day you were doing all your bead locks or banging on your back bumper.
I have a 30 by 40 shop about 250 feet behind my house, so I'm always in there doing stuff. I do all my builds in there, do everything on the floor. I do not have a lift yet. I'm hoping to have one. I did my engine swap in my JKU in there when I blew my 3.6 and had to swap it for another 3.6, which I didn't want to do, but a engine hoist, and so I just pulled it out, and I have my 1-ton axle sitting in there for my TJ that I'm putting up on sawhorses now and chopping all the extra stuff I don't need off of them. So I just kind of wing it.
How did you learn all that?
I actually grew up around Jeeps and off-roading. My parents did it before I was born, and my mom continued it, and I grew up with my mom. She was a single parent, and she always had a Jeep, and we always went off-road. I'm originally from Dillon, Colorado, so I learned to wheel in Colorado in the mountains. It just stuck to me, so I just continued and kept going, and then I bought my first vehicle, which was a Jeep at 14 years old. I paid cash for it, saved up all my money. It was $7,000, and it was a 82 CJ7 Laredo. It was white with cinnamon.
So how many Jeeps do you own right now?
I own 3 right now. I have a YJ, CJ, and AKU.
So if you had to pick one that was your favorite, which one would it be?
The TJ. The TJ is my favorite. He will be my ultimate once I get done stretching him.
Oh, so you're going to stretch it to make it like an LJ or something?
Yeah, actually I'm stretching him to, so they're 94.3 inches is the stock wheelbase. I'm stretching him to 113 inches So I'll do a front and a rear stretch, and I'm comp cutting him.
What year is your TJ?
2005.
So what's the most unique modification you've made to one of your Jeeps? You've already said a ton. Like, you could literally pick any of the ones you just said. But
I don't even know what the most unique modification, because I feel like everything I do to them is normal. At the time when I built my TJ, it was in 2015, I put a long arm on it with a tri-linked rear end, and that wasn't very common then. It was a rare thing. Most people didn't do long arms, especially if they were going to drive them on the road. It was great for, off-roading, but I was still street driving that thing and off-roading it, and I had a 7.5-inch long arm on it.
Wow.
Well, it still does right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there one Jeep you focus on more? Like you said, TJ was your favorite, but or you just spread the wealth?
I try to, but it doesn't work very well. Like, the TJ is supposed to be getting all my focus right now, because I'm supposed to have it completely done as far as long arm stretch and everything, the axles and all that, by the end of the year. But it seems like right now the JKU is getting all the love.
Do you have a dream Jeep build that you haven't started yet? And if so, what's it look like?
It's actually how the TJ is going to be built when I get done with it. So right now it's still stock wheelbase, 7.5-inch lift, 37-inch tires. My dream is to have it stretched to 113 inches between front and rear, 1-ton axles, full hydro steering, 42-inch tires. I have the fuel cell for it, a full long arm, triangulated front and rear, top and bottom, and eventually, maybe rear steer. Maybe. And I want to Atlas in it eventually, but everybody's telling me, my TJ is a standard, which is one of the reasons I loved wheeling it, is I grew up wheeling standards. My mom wheeled standards. Everybody thinks I'm crazy because everybody wheels automatics, but I love it, and everybody wants me to swap it to an automatic and put an Atlas in it. So
hardly anybody wheels standard anymore, it seems like.
It's very true. I get a lot of flack for it, and then I get a lot of people that are like, I give you props for it, because a lot of people don't. It's harder. It takes a lot more focus, and you have to focus on 3 things at once. But I like it because it's a challenge for me, and I'm pretty good at dealing with my clutch, and I have it geared low enough to where I don't really have to deal with my clutch as much. My next thing I really want to do is put a thumb throttle on it, just so that's one less thing I have to deal with on my feet, because I'll do a lot of 2-footed wheeling. I learned how to do that, especially in my JK. I can do that all day long, so it's easier to do that in a standard if you have a thumb throttle.
So do you fabricate your own Jeep parts? I know Krash Fab does.
No, I'm not there yet. I would love to be able to. I actually recently got a welder. I have welded. It's not pretty. I really want to be pretty. It's like artwork to me, but no, I haven't gotten there yet. The closest thing I've come to fabricating is chopping stuff off so I can put my Krash Fab stuff on. I'm a big classic car person. A lot of people don't know that about me, but I am.
Do you have one?
We have I say we. My daughter drives a 73 Ford F100, and then I also have a 74 Ford F100 sitting in my yard. Other dream car is a GT 500.
So what is your favorite type of terrain to wheel?
I like rocks. I like boulders. Down here in Texas, in a town called Mason, we have 2 off-road parks. That's Katimsi Rocks, which a lot of people know it as K2, and then Wolf Caves. They're literally 5 minutes from each other. Those are my favorite. They're granite rocks, and they're huge, giant rocks. So you're just climbing up different obstacles, and some's more technical than others, but I like the real sticky granite rocks, especially when it gets hot outside. I'm really looking forward to Sand Hollow and Moab, just because I haven't gotten to go there yet. It's been a bucket list of mine since I was little, but I heard the terrain's similar. I will be there for Trail Hero. I don't think my rig will be there. I'll be there for working Krash Fab.
It's going to eat away at your soul if you're in Moab and you don't have your Jeep there.
I know. I'm still trying to figure out if I can figure out a way to at least transport my Jeep there and meet it there. I'm a little addicted to this stuff, obsessed. Literally.
Well, that's why you got your name, right?
That is. When I came up with that name, I was like, I don't even know what to call myself. I came up with it just because I love Jeeps, and now it's just, I thought about changing my Instagram handle, and then everybody's like, no. I'm like, okay.
So what's your goal with the gram?
I had no idea. I actually made it just as someplace to post my Jeep stuff because I had my personal page and everybody would complain. They're like, we don't want to see all your Jeeps. Like, that's all you're posting. It's literally your Jeep, your daughter, or your dog. And I'm like, okay. I just made it for fun. Like, it wasn't anything. I didn't even realize that there was a whole Instagram culture for Jeeps out there. I just posted and had fun with it and really didn't know what I was going to do with it. And then it's really been really weird because I've kind of, when I first started it, I mean, I would post some of my wheeling stuff, but then I was like, oh, I like taking pictures of my Jeep. This is fun. But I kind of hid who I was. I guess I didn't let people know that I was such a big tomboy and that I work on my Jeeps and I really tear them up and then I break them and I fix them, and I didn't let people know. And then finally I got to the point where I was like, this is stupid. Why am I not just posting who like I really am? So that's what I started doing, and that's what I continue to do, and half the stuff is like me hamming it up because I'm a big dork and I like doing stupid silly stuff.
You're always doing awesome stuff to your Jeep, and it's pretty cool. Is that kind of how you got into Krash Fab?
Yeah, actually. Well, I worked for 4-Wheel before, and then before 4-Wheel, I worked for another like little tiny shop that didn't last very long out of Missouri. But I always wanted to be in the hardcore side. So when I got the opportunity with Krash Fab, I was like in heaven because this is exactly the side I want to be in, where it's hardcore parts, like not just simple bolt on. I like modifying.
So you're saying they make cages?
Yeah, he makes cages for JL, JLUs, JLs, JT. Well, he hasn't done one for JT yet, JK and JKU, but he builds for everything. Like, he's completely, like I said, he's got 2 Jeeps in the shop now that he's building. So it's not like, that's how he started, was building Jeeps for people.
Do you have a cage on yours?
I have a cage. I don't have his cage, but I do have a cage in both of my Jeeps. The cage I have in my TJ is actually a highly modified stock cage. So it has a lot of the original parts of the stock cage and a lot of extra tubing to reinforce it, which did great for me when I rolled it. So, and
you did roll?
Yeah. Last summer I rolled my TJ off a 20-foot rock and K2, full barrel roll. Landed on all 4 tires. And my Jeep was still running. God only knows how, since it's a standard, it didn't die. And as soon as I landed on the tires, it was like, in my brain, I guess it didn't happen, like it was a dream, and I just kept crawling up the next rock, and they had to yell at me to stop. One of the guys actually had to reach in and pull my Jeep out of gear because I wasn't stopping.
So tell me about that. How did that happen?
I was just crawling across some rocks, and they were huge boulders that were like I said, 20 feet up, and it was just like a line of boulders, and there were like these crevices in between because it's where the rocks were like sitting next to each other, and I just got too far off on the passenger side with my rear tire because I couldn't see it, and my spotter was on my driver's side, and my Jeep just started sliding. I felt it, and I put both hands on the steering wheel because that's normally what I do when I get really uncomfortable. I'll grab with both hands, and I felt it slide more, and I was like, oh, I'm going over. And my 8-year-old niece was in the passenger seat, so I put my hand on her. But I have the PRP seats and harnesses, and they're really snug, so like neither one of us were jarred or anything, and it just rolled and then landed on its tires, and she was fine and I was fine.
Have you gotten like into a situation similar to that and had like a flashback?
No, I get off camber and I get a little twisted about it, like my stomach will start turning, but I normally push through it because I've always had an issue with off camber.
Are you just like brave in general, or do you like psych yourself out, or pump yourself up to hit a trail like that?
No, I'm one of those. I grew up doing it, so it's whatever happens.
It's just natural.
Happens. No, I don't ever want to roll again.
No.
But it's it happened. I'm safe. My Jeep is built to keep me safe. I mean, I'll be fine. Now, the JK is a different story because I haven't gotten the seats and harnesses in it yet, and it has a rock hard 4x4 cage in it, so it's just the clamp-on ones that just like clamps onto the stock cage. But I'm hoping that I'll change that. My boss from Krash Fab, we're going to build a cage for the JKU also.
The big stumbling block, is it just cash? Just money?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, if I had all the money, then these Jeeps would be done. Like, I already know where they're all going. As far as their designs and their builds, I know where they're going. I just don't have the cash flow. So I was like, if I could just win like a small lottery, about 15 to 20 grand, they would be done. Because that's all I need. Had
I started all over again, I would have gotten automatic.
I don't ever know. Like, everybody's like, how can you deal with that when it stalls out and then it starts, like, it always does when it stalls, it does that slight roll back, and they're like, aren't you freaked out? And I'm like, no. I mean, it just, yeah, I guess one day it's going to suck, but I hope it doesn't ever. The way I look at it is, I feel like everybody that does technical wheeling, like hardcore technical wheeling, eventually you're gonna roll. The longer you do it, eventually you're gonna roll. So the way I look at it is, my mom rolled her Jeep, only rolled her Jeep once before she passed away. So I've rolled once now, so I'm done. I won't roll ever again. And I'm even with my mom now. We don't have to worry about it. At least that's how I like to look at it.
What is your go-to snack or meal when you're off-roading?
Pistachios. Just stick my hand back and throw it in my mouth.
There you go. If you could take your Jeep anywhere in the world for an off-road trip, where would you go?
Oh, I guess that would be my dream place. I want to go to Alaska, so I would definitely take it up there.
What's the funniest thing that's ever happened to you while off-roading?
Oh, this might be embarrassing. We were wheeling, and it was kind of muddy outside, and I think we were in Hot Springs. We had stopped because we had done an obstacle, and everybody was just taking like a break, and I had to pee really bad. So I get out of my Jeep, and like I said, it was muddy. I get out of my Jeep, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to hide behind my Jeep, my tire on my TJ, so nobody can see me. I yelled at everybody, told them where I was, and they were like, okay. And I'm sitting there, and I'm peeing, and I'm squatted, like, right at my front tire, and I lose my balance. My tire is coated in mud. Like, you can't even tell it looks like a chocolate donut. Like, it's that muddy. And I lost my balance, and my ass hit my tire and was covered in mud. So I had to figure out how I could get most of it off, which it's wet. So, yeah.
Oh,
and the sad part is, one of my friends, the girls I knew, was just over peeing too. And so she saw us. So when we got done peeing, she had to tell everybody.
Do you have any off-roading superstitions or rituals you do before hitting a trail?
The only thing I really do before I hit a trail is I keep a picture of my mom in both my Jeeps, and I always talk to her. And I tend to, if I get really uncomfortable and something's I feel like it's going wrong, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I might lose this thing, I will sit there and just talk to her. Because I'm like, you better save me on this.
If you could have any celebrity join you for an off-road adventure, who would it be?
I would really, really be over the moon excited to be able to wheel with Holly, Mischief Maker. I got to meet her once and see Mischief Maker, and I was so happy.
Yeah?
And she is super sweet.
What's one piece of advice you would give someone who's just starting off-roading?
Stay calm and always listen to your spotter. That is, I have done so many 101 classes for people. I've done a lot of women's wheeling 101 classes. That's always what I tell them. I'm like, just stay calm. I'm not going to put you in a position where you're in danger, and just listen, because that's the way you're going to get through it, because you can't see everything, and especially if you don't really know how to do it. I will tell you every little thing you need to do, and just listen to your spotter, because they're the ones that are going to keep you safe. They can see everything.
Is there any favorite Jeep related gadget or tool you can't live without?
I'm really excited to get a compressor that airs up all four of my tires at the same time. I loathe airing up my tires.
What are you going to get?
The Thor Lightning.
There you go. That's what I have. So if your life had a theme song, what song would it be?
Oh, I'm always playing Slim Shady when I wheel.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm kind of known for playing Slim Shady when I wheel. I don't know why. I'm an Eminem junkie though, so I like old like Hank and Johnny
Okay.
Cash, and then I like
I like Johnny Cash.
I like Red Dirt, and I really like a lot of the stuff that's coming out that is like a cross between Red Dirt country and rock. Johnny
Okay.
Cash, and then I
like Johnny Cash.
I like Red Dirt, and I really like a lot of the stuff that's coming out that is like a cross between Red Dirt country and rock.
Was there anything that you wanted me to ask that I didn't, or anything you want to say?
Everybody needs to go check out Krash Fab. The stuff is amazing, and I've definitely put it to its test on durability, because I smash everything I can and I haven't been able to tear it up yet. I can't even get the front bumper to hit a rock, no matter what size rock I face up to. My apex steering is completely rash. There is not one scratch on my bumper.
Wow.
So I'm really excited about getting the sliders, because I told Justin, I was like, just bet, because I have dropped my Jeep so many times on rocks that I'm like, I want to see if this thing crushes, because I have crushed so many sliders. Keep evolving to insanity.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. It was fun.
Thanks for inviting me. This was fun.
All right, guys, that was Reggye, and man, what a cool person. Love what she's doing. Amazing stuff that she's done with her Jeep, the engine swaps, the axle swaps, blah blah blah, stretching out the Jeep. Can't wait to see that come to life, and definitely support Krash Fab. Give them some love and subscribe, all that good stuff. If there's anybody else you want to have on the show, definitely let me know. Appreciate you guys.